Oh, okay.
Mom, do you want to click on
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm going to come out on this side because y'all can see me a little better, but I'll probably walk back and forth because my energy drink is over there, so. Which is, don't do energy drinks, kids. I can do them because I'm 43, so. Okay, so, I have these cards because I have really bad ADHD and I get off topic very quickly. So, if you see me look down, that's what I'm doing. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak here at Jackson County High School. I am very excited to speak to y'all, HOSA group. I was a state officer for Georgia FCCLA, and I know the importance of career student technical organizations. And I had so much fun and learning from being a part of them. They really do shape your professional future, if you can't tell from that already. So, I have a fun fact for y'all that I figured out, or not figured out, but my dad told me, well, my great aunt told my dad told me. Yeah, whole line. But, okay, so fun fact, my great aunt was a HOSA advisor in 1978, and her group created the original HOSA emblem in 1978 at the first conference. They were from McNairy County High School in Tennessee, if y'all want to fact check that. So our family CTSO roots run very deep for me, so very happy about that. So I'm going to also put that down right there, so I don't forget that. So real quick, my name is Emily Emmons. I'm a junior at Georgia Gwinnett College, and I'm studying early childhood education. Hi, I saw you wave. But I hate school. I really do. I hate school. So school has always been difficult for me. Although I had never failed a grade, I always seemed to make better than average grades. However, my book bag was always a mess. And you would think, oh, how bad could it have been? It's probably not that. I would find banana peels in there. I would find a lot of trash in there. All of my homework was like together in a weird, balled up way. It was a little bit disgusting. I don't know how I did that, but I did. So, but I didn't always hate school, at least not in the beginning. When I was in kindergarten and second grade, I had a teacher named Miss Pounce. And she was always so kind to me and patient, and I wanted to be exactly like her. Hence why I am wanting to be a teacher and studying early childhood education. So when I was in 5th grade, things were really tough for me. I remember one day I actually was crying with my mom, just laying down with her, because I didn't understand why I would remember one thing one day and then completely not know anything the next. It was very weird because I have a really good memory with everything else. Like family vacations, I could remember family vacations from when I was about maybe 3. So that's how good my memory was. And my parents would be like, oh, that did happen. How do you remember that? I'm like, I don't know, I just remember that. And yet I can't remember what 1 + 2 is. Okay. I know what it is. So my mom was a teacher. Mother, raise your hand. That's my mom. My momager. So she helps me with everything. She realized something was wrong, so she took me to the doctor and I started on Adderall. So I had ADHD. Okay, normal kid stuff. You have ADHD. But things with my medication really made me feel weird. I felt ugly. I felt like I was nothing. So I spiraled into a very deep depression. However, I was being bullied at that time, so I just thought maybe it was just that. So I moved schools when I was in 8th grade. to the rival school, I might add. Yeah, call me a traitor, but but hey, they were a really good team, football team, so.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Even though my old school got better over the years. Stupid reason. Anyways, so I was like the new girl in 8th grade, popular. I was a cheerleader. Great, cool. That was crazy for me because I didn't think I could be popular, especially since I was being bullied at my last school. However, I went to high school and things were awesome for a while. I was a very active part of FCCLA, being a state officer, and I was a French club president for 2 years. I was in Beta Club. I was in Tigers of Distinction, which is a leadership program at Archer. And I was a cheerleader. I was in theater. I was in chorus. I was a thespian for theater. So, I did a lot in high school, and I really liked it for a long time. However, one day I just completely crashed. And I remember it was just a wave of emotion that just came over me. I remember it was me and my friends in the library, and we were just hanging out, doing what normal high schoolers do, just hang out after school. But I started to convulse, and I started to cry, and I didn't know why. So what I did was I flipped my hood over and I just curled up into a ball, hoping it would just stop. Those friends of mine, just big friends, they saw that I was doing that, and luckily my mom was working at the high school that I was going at, and they ran, got her, came in, calmed me down, and I was okay. However, this started a lot of panic attacks and anxiety filled, and I remember just a lot of games, basketball games that I was cheering at. I remember this one game where I stopped in the middle of the hallway and I just completely fell to the floor and I was just convulsing. I didn't know why, but I was panicking for no reason. So, imagine you're 16 years old and you're in a doctor's office just wondering what is wrong with you. And then your doctor tells you that you have bipolar disorder. A disorder that is neurological and that you can't change at all. Except you can just get on medication and just push it away like that. That 16-year-old was me. And it was very rough. Because I remember just beginning to get medicated, but after several attempts, I got on something that was okay, but it wasn't perfect, and I resented my mother terribly. So I could function on the performance side. I was doing fine for a while. I was in theater performances, I cheered, I had friends, I was still popular, and everything was great and fine and dandy, right? Like, do you think so? However, things were going downhill, and even though I looked like the perfect daughter and student, I still hated school, and I wanted a way out. And I talked about college being my future, but I had no desire to finish up anything after high school. I wanted to be done. The relationships that I created throughout high school became very toxic, and my so-called friends used my bipolar against me and abandoned me. Give a raise of hands. How many times you don't have to say how many times, but Has that ever happened to you, where you thought somebody was your friend and they just abandoned you? Just raise your hand. Yeah. It's not a fun feeling, is it? My senior year was a good up until a certain point, but it was okay my first 2 years as a state officer, and my last year as a state officer, my state council hated me, and I didn't know why. I still don't know why. They were just very mean to me, and I never understood that. So I thought, this is my last year, my senior year. I don't have to deal with these people anymore. I don't have to see these people anymore. So I was like, I'm about to get out of here. However, I'm the class of 2020. So when March came, my dreams or my plans started crashing down finally. So school was online, and I'm not a strong student when it comes to school being online. I resent being online. But I didn't get a prom. I didn't get a senior walk, senior carnival, senior letters. I got letters later, but not having a moment to actually sit down with people and open my letters to see how many had loved me and cared for me and were like wishing me the best. But I didn't get to do anything, especially graduation. Nobody even tried to be like, let's have an in-person graduation, but 6 feet apart. None of that. This was very fragile, for a very bad thing for a fragile psyche. So when I spiraled into a deep depression and anxiety that I never had felt before, suicide ideology had always loomed above my head, never fully acted on it. I've tried, but never fully acted on it. But it wasn't completely out of the picture. So, no friends, no family, everything completely destroyed. I did go to school, but not my dream school. I wanted to go to Kennesaw State University, and I got accepted. However, I didn't get accepted into the program I wanted. And that was, I'm a singer, so I wanted to study music. That just ended up with them rejecting me. My parents also saw that I was a wreck, and with COVID happening at that same time, they asked me to stay at home with them, still hating life, and go to school where I did not want to go. Still don't want to be there, but I want to finish my degree. So, gotta do what I gotta do. So, that first semester, I failed several of my classes because it was online. So I couldn't do anything about that. So I just was like, I hate school anyways, so I might as well just work. So when COVID restraints finally got lifted, I tried to be out of the house as much as I could. I was very stressed and depressed, as you could imagine. I have made friends with people that just took advantage of me. And back in October of 2021, I had the worst mental breakdown of my life. So my parents saw all this happen, and I've gotten into bad decisions that I couldn't see my way out of. So I thought to myself, I was just gonna run away. Parents saw that I was about to run away and finally stopped me. And I was okay for a little bit. Finally, I got into a psych evaluation after so many years of needing a psych evaluation, figuring out out what I needed to actually help me. And through the very in-depth psychological exam, which I recommend to anybody that feels like they need one, go. It's worth it. It's worth all of your money. Go to one. I had some very low self-esteem. I had some learning disabilities that I didn't know about, that nobody picked up on throughout all of my schooling career. However, all that can be managed, right? I went back to school with some modifications and accommodations, and my mom helped me organize my new learning tools, and I was able to salvage a lot of my grades and get back on track. I finally got onto actual bipolar medication that worked for me. I'm going to take a little sip of this. And I finally got leveled out. And then I started therapy, resentfully, because I didn't think therapy would work for me at all. However, that was the best decision I've ever made, well, was told to make. But therapy really helped me. It helped me set up boundaries, and it helped me create a better environment for myself. After resenting my mother for so many years, putting up those boundaries and actually talking to my mother actually helped. And I finally felt better with my mother. And obviously she's here today with me. Some days we still fight, but I feel like it's normal now. So through my journey, I decided I must be an advocate for those who have suffered with mental illness. During the global pandemic, I felt like I had no hope for anybody, or anything, or myself. But I realized I am not alone. So I have some statistics here. 1 in 5 people said the pandemic had a significant negative impact on their mental health, according to the statistics from National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI. And 1 in 3 young adults between the ages of 18 and 25 experienced a mental health crisis, while 1 in 10 experienced a serious mental illness. It felt like nothing was going to help me to get me out of that funk, but my family helped me. And the friends that actually stayed with me. So from this experience, my Community Service Initiative, or CSI, Your Mind is Your Business, Keep Healthy, was born. I discovered by keeping it healthy, it means to have the right medication, therapy, sleep, exercise, and a good support system. So I decided to be a voice of encouragement for those who are suffering with mental illness, and to let them know, and their families and friends and everybody else know, that there is hope. As a part of my own personal journey with mental health and wellness, with the alignment of the Community Service Initiative of keeping it healthy, during the NAMI walk at the state capitol during Mental Health Awareness Week in October 2022, I participated in that. In 2023, I served as the NAMI ambassador and youth chair for NAMI Walk 2023, and this year we raised $338,000. Can we take a moment for that? $338,000. So many people cared about mental health. The mission of NAMI Georgia is to empower affiliates to create communities where those who are affected by mental illness find hope, help, and acceptance through support, education, and advocacy. I hope to reach out to the community to help remove cultural stigmas and barriers to access for give access to help those with mental illnesses. As a person with a history of bipolar disorder and ADHD, this was very personal for me, and I wanted a larger platform to actually get me to where I needed to be to talk about mental health awareness. So I knew I couldn't do it alone, so I sought out the Miss America pageant system. And I knew it was a community service-based pageant system. So I decided to go run for Miss Fulton County 2023, and I won. And I got to go to Miss Georgia in 2023 of June. And I didn't place any type of way my first year. However, I enjoyed all the opportunities that was created with the Miss Georgia opportunity, or the Miss America opportunity. And so I decided I want to do this again. So I went back as Miss Irish Capital this last year in June of 2024, and I got top 15, which is a non-final or a finalist award, which I got $500 for scholarship money. And I got the Miss Georgia Gives Back Award for my community service initiative. And I had raised, or not raised, but I was given $1,000 for that, for scholarship money. I knew as Miss Irish Capital, my voice would impact the lives of those who battle with mental illness. And I would be an example of hope for those who have suffered with mental illness so that they can keep going, so that they can keep striving for what they want, so that they can do what they want and not feel like that their mental illness is going to keep them from doing what they love. So I found myself understanding that I am not alone, and help me remove the focus from myself to being concerned with others. So my plan included partnering with Family Career Community Leaders of America, or FCCLA, a high school-led, student-led student organization that I was part of course, during my active years in high school. And I served as the state vice president of national programs for Georgia FCCLA for 2 consecutive years. And they actually had a program, a national program called Student Body, where they actually focused on the physical and mental health of the student. So I'm pleased to also let you know that the Georgia Department of Education has approved and is starting in the fall, now, in Georgia high schools, and will have a mental health pathway in the curriculum. And students will be able to take 3 consecutive years of this course and earn them a certificate to qualify them for entry-level positions in mental health jobs. And hopefully they will continue this into college courses. We know in this field is in desperate need of mental health professionals. Through my journey, I've talked to different police agencies and have focused on reducing arrests on people in mental health crises. Several of these police agencies include the Monroe City Police, Gwinnett County Police, and the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, that they have some sort of mental health task force. They're working with their people to learn how to de-escalate situations and get resources to people who just need the help. I had the honor of working with 3 different mayors of 3 different cities on making May Mental Health Awareness Month in their cities. I'm reaching out to community groups like the Kiwanis Club of Atlanta, the Optimist Club, and they're supporting the efforts. I've contacted several groups into talking about mental health opportunities, and the conversations are happening. Things are going to change as long as we are talking about it. No more silence, no more shame, and no more stigma. That is why NAMI Georgia, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, holds a very special place in my heart. It is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing support, education, and advocacy for individuals and families affected by mental health challenges. NAMI Georgia has been working tirelessly to raise awareness about mental health and break stigma surrounding mental illness. They offer varieties of programs and resources to help those in need, including support groups, educational classes, and outreach initiatives. The impact of that they have on countless lives are immeasurable. So one of their most significant initiatives is NAMI Walks. It's an annual fundraising event where they actually go out into the community and walk for mental health awareness. But why do they walk, you may ask? To raise awareness about mental health issues, which affect not just one, not just two, but millions of people around the world. We walk to break down the barriers that prevent people from seeking help and show those struggling that they are not alone. We walk to honor the resilience and courage of individuals and families dealing with mental health challenges every single day. Now, as a NAMI ambassador, I stand here and asking for your support in these efforts. By becoming a sponsor, you are making a tangible difference in the lives of those impacted by mental illness. Your sponsorship will enable NAMI Georgia to continue their vital work by providing education, support, and hope to those in need. In sponsoring NAMI Walks Georgia, you are investing in a healthier and more compassionate community. Mental health is not just an individual issue. It affects not just families, schools, workplaces, but society as a whole. By becoming together, you're supporting NAMI Georgia, and we can create a ripple effect of positive change. So I'm urging each and every one of you, consider being a sponsor for NAMI Walks Georgia. And your support will contribute to transforming lives and bringing us one step closer to a society where mental health is understood, accepted, and prioritized. So, let's all stand together and in this movement in promoting mental health awareness and fostering more compassionate and understanding world. Thank you for your time and consideration, and together we can make a difference. Thank you for considering helping with this important mission for mental health for all. However, my personal story wouldn't be complete without giving honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for never leaving me or forsaking me, and for saving. So, God desires us that we have a sound mind and that we focus on renewing our mind by girding it up to Him. To God be the glory and all that He has done in my life and that He can do for others. And may He bless those who struggle with mental illness and fill with His presence and heal them. So to Him be the glory. So I'm ending here, but thank you so much for listening, and just remember, it is okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay not okay. And I still hate school, but I'm gonna finish with my degree. So thank you.
Can I say something real quick? When Emily is talking about sponsorship, one of the things that she's focusing on is participation in getting that word out. And one of the things that the advocates or the, I forget the word for it, but anyway, they go down to the state capitol and they advocate for mental health bills and legislation that's going to protect people with mental health issues. One of the things that they need is participation support. Okay, last year they had 1,007 participants. Yes, thank you for helping me because the number blurred in my head. You making a stance by coming to that walk could make a huge difference. you know, if you can do it. And here's the information. It's gonna be on October 5th at Assembly Park.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and your entire group could come. If you want to come, you can register on the NAMI Georgia website. There's National NAMI, and then there's NAMI Georgia.
And we have teams. And if you want to be a part of my team, you can look up Team Emily Emmons.
It's right there.
Yeah, it'll be right here.
Mhm.
So Team
No
Emily
spaces.
Emmons. Yeah.
Walk through.
And you don't have to make a donation. You can just be a part of the walk. But if you want to make a donation, you can. Like anything.
Or if you as a group want to
Yeah.
do a fundraiser for
Yeah.
NAMI, they'll take money, you know, beyond, of course, the walk itself. But you
Have your
being
own
there
walk.
would be great, and if you are gonna go, kind of let your advisor know so that we can be looking for you, because
Yeah.
we'd love for you to physically be with Emily,
Yeah.
you know, at the walk. We'd really like that very much.
Yeah.
And if you wanna take questions, then.
Yeah, if y'all have questions, like I'm an open book, like about my journey or what I've experienced while working with my community service initiative or stuff about NAMI. Mom, do we have any brochures?
Oh, you know what, I think I do. I'll look for
We
them
need
in
to
the
get
back.
more brochures too,
Yeah.
but just something's going on for me. But any questions that y'all have for me? And again, like I'm an open book, so you can ask anything. Y'all good?
Ask
Y'all
a
have
question, get a ribbon.
Oh yeah, if you ask a question, you can get a ribbon.
And these are some brochures, I'm gonna leave them out for just a little while, we'll take the excess if
And
you don't
also,
need them.
if you want a signature, like a lovely picture of me and me sign it and everything like that, you can.
We have autographed
Yeah,
pictures
I
for you.
can get that for you. And if you sell it on eBay later when I become Miss America, like
You have to
I'm
split the
you.
profits,
Yeah,
so.
you gotta split the profits with me. Just saying. So, so yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? Do you know somebody who struggles with,
Mental illness.
and
Like,
it may
could
be
a
somebody
family
who's
member,
just going through
friend,
something?
yourself. Like raise your hand if you know somebody. Like I know a lot of people, obviously.
And it can be very difficult.
It can be.
Would you say people tend to avoid talking about mental illness nowadays than before?
It's a little bit easier now. Like way back when, it was just harder because people just said, "Oh, you're just crazy." And like for example, my grandmother, my mom's mom, we believed that she was also bipolar. And you know, back then, she kept saying, "Oh, they're just thinking I'm crazy," and that was just the nature of what people thought back then. And so being on medication was like taboo, and it was just not the ideal. But now it's a lot easier to talk about because a lot more people are coming forward and saying, "Hey, I'm not okay," and I say that is very important. That's why my thing is it is okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay not okay, because it's very important that you talk about what's wrong so that you don't get worse.
And so many celebrities are coming out and talking about their emotional issues, and that's been helpful.
Oh, yeah. It is 4:30, so if you have to go, please do that. But if you have any questions, just stay after and we can talk.
Or if you want a picture.
Yeah, I'll be
So
here.
you're free to go if you have to.